Alright, welcome back to the stream. We got a shiny Rotom offline yesterday, so we're gonna give a little react to it before we get started. I'm confused about what these are. Did I get... I don't think I got another one of these, did I? Hello! Hello, I am. We're reacting to our clips, but I don't remember this one. I think this is one I already reacted to. Yeah, this is an old one. I don't know why I put it up front there. It's kind of weird. We did get a shiny Rotom, though. Offline yesterday. Welcome home. Must have been busy the last couple days. Well, go right ahead, my guy. Let's go! Stars, 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 stars. Okay, squares. Always squares. Oh, nice! 'Tis a good game. Shield I've actually played more than Sword, but they're both good games. Version exclusive-wise, I think they're pretty equal. Pretty good. Both have good stuff. Depends upon which legendary you like better, basically. I think it's interesting that in the new ones they give you 2 of the legendaries, so then you can automatically trade one for the opposite legendary from the other game. An interesting strategy. Your first time playing Shield or Sword and Shield in general? Or just Shield? Did you play Sword the first time? Oh, dang. Yeah. It's a bit challenging, because there isn't... It's a lot harder to get shinies in than Scarlet and Violet. I definitely recommend playing through the game and completing the decks and getting the shiny charm, because without it, full odds is pretty brutal, because there's no overworld shinies in the game, so even the overworld spawns, you have to encounter them to see if they're shiny, so... Yeah. What is it about Sword you don't like? They pretty much feel identical games to me. Unfortunately that's actually not accurate. That's what we believed for a super long time. But it actually only affects the brilliant spawns, and the brilliant spawns only appear a maximum of 3% of the time. So if you KO 500 of them, then it makes the brilliant spawns appear 3% of the time, and then that 3% of the time it has that increased shiny odds. For like a good 5 years, that's what everyone believed was the case for wild hunting, but it's actually not accurate. I mean, you can defeat them, and it will make the brilliant spawns happen more, and then the brilliant spawns will have a better chance at getting them. But in the grand scheme of things, since it's only 3% of spawns that get that increased odds, it ultimately makes almost no difference. So that's why it's kind of brutal. And I think they intended it for it to work the way that you're talking about. Either they intended for brilliance to show up more than they do, or they intended it to affect everything, not just brilliance. I think they miscoded it. I think a lot of the wild shiny hunting stuff got coded unintentionally wrong. So for the most part, you're just going to have a 1 in 4,000 for wild shinies unless you complete the Pokedex. Oh, man. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. What's funny is, for years and years and years and years, people were KOing 500 of them and then assuming that they had that chance for them. But if you looked at how often or how long it actually took for people to get shinies, it just didn't line up with it. And then data miners and researchers and stuff figured it out. I think it was actually Anubis, who's like a data miner. He figured out that it doesn't actually apply to all wild encounters. It only applies to the brilliant spawns. That's why I kind of want to at some point go through, and it only applies to, because of that, for that reason, it only applies to overworld spawns as well, with the exception of fishing, because fishing can have brilliant encounters. But it only applies to overworld spawns, so you can go... I've always wanted to go through the whole game and KO 500 of every single possible overworld encounter, so that anytime I see a brilliant spawn, if I encounter it, it's going to have that increased shiny odds. It probably was just an old video where they didn't know. And there's still people that don't know even now. There's still people that think that there's a 1 in 16 chance of getting a Star Sparkle in the wild. They still think that's the case. But it's not. It's 1 in like 6 million. Hence why almost nobody has wild Star Sparkles. If you look up like the entirety of ones that have been recorded, it's like 4 or 5 different recordings of people getting a wild Star Sparkle. Have you ever heard of Reversal? Reversal got a wild Star Sparkle. He's one of the few that did, which is pretty nutty. I mean, if you got a shiny Yamper, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I have a friend that I encouraged him to buy Sword. He never even, I don't think, beat the first gym before he got bored of it. But what I always do with all my friends is I offer to give them all of the version exclusives for the game that they can't get, like, right away. I give them, like, basically all of them to you right away. So I told him, go catch, like, 20 random garbage Pokemon that you don't need to trade them with me, and I'll give you all the version exclusives. And he was like, okay, so he went and he caught 20 Pokemon, and then he went to trade me, and he sent me over a shiny Yamper. And I said, wait, that's a shiny. Where'd you get that from? And he's like, I don't know, I guess I caught it. And I was like, so you didn't even know that you caught a shiny when you were just getting random trash Pokemon? So I was like, I'm going to give this back to you. And he was like, oh, okay. So he got a full odd shiny just while he was getting garbage Pokemon to trade over to me. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And then he doesn't even play the game. He probably still has it, but... And he at least has his save file. But yeah, he got a shiny Yamper, so I told him to never evolve it, since it has Ball Fetch, because he had a dog when he was growing up called Scooter, who was obsessed with playing Fetch constantly, and I said, you should go and rename it Scooter, never evolve it, so it always has the ability Ball Fetch, and that'll be like your homage to your dog. And he's like, that's not a bad idea. It'll say battled as well. You can see battled on the bottom. Like how I showed you how I KO'd 999 Rotoms. I did that just because I was hunting it for so long. I was like, might as well keep KOing it. And I was also KOing brilliant ones, because they give you watts for it. You got up to 404 battled? I mean, you might as well go the full 500 now, so at least when you get a brilliant spawn of Nickit, it'll have that increased chance. I think without the shiny charm it's 1365, but it's only on the brilliant spawns. And then if you get a shiny charm, or if you get the shiny charm, then it's 516 or something like that. But yeah, shiny hunting in this game is rough. It is almost exclusively full odds. But if you get the DLC and you go into Crown Tundra and you do the Dynamax adventures, those are actually pretty good. Even without the shiny charm, I think it's like a 1 in 75 chance or something like that. When you get them from Dynamax Adventures. The only issue with Dynamax Adventures is I think they're base level 60. So if you go and you actually use those in your playthrough, it'll kind of invalidate the whole playthrough because you'll just crush the whole game with level 60s. Oh, you got Score Bunny? Score Bunny's a good one. Technically, the best one, competitive-wise, was Rillaboom. I think he's the only consistent competitive of the starters. Score Bunny had a little bit of usage, so did Inteleon, but not much. But I think Rillaboom still gets used now. And I think it's mostly because of its ability, its hidden ability that they gave it. The one that sets up the grassy terrain or whatever. And it also has a signature move, I think, as well. It's pretty good. I have no idea. I haven't been counting encounters. I'm guessing you are counting encounters. I never count encounters. I just, I just vibe with it. The way I only think about it in increments of time. So it takes about 8 hours of shiny hunting before you hit full odds with the shiny charm. And with the fact that I'm doing, or you hit odds with the shiny charm, and with the fact that I'm doing it full odds, it would be 16. So I don't think I've done 16 streams yet at this spot. So I would doubt that I'm at 4,000 encounters yet. Yeah, well, I mean, that's a way to do it. You definitely know that you've at least seen 404. Unless you failed to kill any of them. It's funny that you stopped at 404, because it's like error 404. Once you notice your error, it was at 404. But I will tell you, I for many years KO'd everything that I hunted. I can show you in the decks. Almost every Pokemon that I hunted, I KO'd 5 times. So if I've hunted it... Oh, this is the wrong game. Never mind, I couldn't show you in this game. But yeah, almost everything that I hunted, I at least KO'd 500 times, if not more. Because that was what everyone believed. Same with what everyone believed about the catch combo in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. They thought that once you got the correct catch combo, that every spawn after that had that increased chance, but it was only the next spawn after that catch. You'd have to keep catching them and getting that an additional spawn in order for the catch combo to give you extra chances, which is pretty silly. Yep, for the longest time people didn't realize that. It was like last year, maybe the year before, that people realized that it was only the next spawn that it counted on. So technically all catch combos do for you is give you an increased spawns of that Pokemon. So if it's something that's like a rare spawn, like a Chansey, then it's worth doing, the catch combo up to the point that it increases the spawns of it significantly. But then after that, you might as well just walk around and let it spawn, because it's not going to increase it unless you keep chaining it, and every time you chain it, there's a chance that it runs away and you break your chain. So, plus it's time consuming. Yeah, that's one thing that's really funny about Pokemon, because unlike a lot of games, they never clarify anything or tell us anything about anything. So we'll just, we'll crunch the numbers, come up with a belief on things, and we'll go with that until somebody crunches the numbers and finds out the truth about it. And then they'll be like, oh, turns out we're all stupid. Like I was talking about how Professor Rex found out all the odds for the Safari Zone in Generation 3 in Fire Red Leaf Green. So many, many, many years later, now we know exactly how baits and balls and rocks affect catch rates, flea rates, all that kind of stuff. Pretty interesting. I guess we could do that. The funny thing is, I'm not watching you, so you can just act like you got a shiny even if you didn't. but I'll trust you. So you want to start your game off with a Nickit? That's the one you want to go for? I recommend a Rookadee. Rookadee or Corbinite's pretty sick. But yeah, I recommend watching that video by Professor Rex about the Safari Zone. I think it's like a month old. I just watched it the other day, though. It's super interesting. I was telling you about it before, I think, where he made that little tool that tells you exactly what you should do to have maximum odds. You punch in what you're trying to catch, and it will tell you, throw a ball, throw a bait, throw a ball, throw a bait, throw a rock, whatever it is. That'd be weird if you got wishy-washy so early in the game. I don't even know if you can get it from that spot. I would doubt it. It's always interesting seeing the quality of life changes in these, because you don't even have to, like, get the rod now. You just, by default, are able to fish. You trying to tell me that that's what I should have you name it if I get my shiny first? Or when I get my shiny first? Now, you'll probably get yours first because I only shiny hunt on stream, so it's only about an hour a day. So, it's almost certain you'll get yours first. Usually when I'm offline, I'm trying to get more swag balls, or I'm going for a Rotom or a Curry shiny, or starter in leaf green, or... I would say the freaking roaming legendaries on Soul Silver, but I can't get my freaking DS games to boot on my 3DS. I still need to fix it. It's frustrating. Once they re-release Fire Red Leaf Green for, like, virtual consoles, I definitely recommend... Or not Fire Red Leaf Green, but Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I definitely recommend playing through those. Also, Platinum's really good. If they ever do Gen 2, Emerald's pretty sick. They're all fun to play through at least once. But shiny hunting in them, it's brutal, because that's before the shiny charm. We didn't get the shiny charm until Black 2, White 2. And that's before they changed the shiny odds. So back then, even with the shiny charm, I think it was 1 in 2,000 something. You paid $49 for it? You should have been able to find it online for like $25-30 bucks. If you got it from like Facebook Marketplace or eBay or something. Did you get a brand new copy? Is that why? You get it from like Walmart or something? Bummer. Yeah, I would have got one used, save yourself quite a bit, but yeah, it's all good. But you can always get the digital DLC upgrade through the Nintendo eShop whenever you want to do that. And what's cool about the DLCs is with the Crown Tundra, it's more of a post-game thing because everything there is locked at level 60, like post-game Wild Zone. But Isle of Armor scales with you. So you can go to Isle of Armor right away, and it'll just give you access to like more Pokemon options and stuff like that. So the Isle of Armor is like a companion DLC to the main story. That's where I went to get Applin. And he was scaled right there with the rest of my stuff, so I wasn't just grabbing a level 60 or I couldn't not catch it. Man, I'm tired today. I went and helped some other peeps. The spot that I bid for got taken by some girl, so now I'm just still floating, covering. That's right. I'll get a spot on my own eventually. Until then, I'll just be helping fools out. Yeah, it happens. Where I work, usually you have to be there for about 2 years before you can get your own spot. And I think I'm right at about that. Maybe a little more. So, I'm on pace. I'll be patient. I'm building my experience, so it's all good. But yeah, I still find Sword and Shield to be the best games. Very different than Scarlet and Violet, very linear progression. But they're like a mixture of an old school Pokemon game and a modern Pokemon game. They're like the bridge over game where you start to see kind of the ideas behind some of the modernizations. You want your first one that you catch to be the shiny one when you're registering it to the dex? I guess I could see that being exciting. That happens to me a lot in Pokemon Go because I don't care to complete the Pokedex in Pokemon Go. So, a lot of the times, not a lot of, well, often, I will get a shiny of something and it'll be the first time I got it. Oh, yeah, yeah, you're talking about the Dex recommendations? Yeah. Yeah. Reversal, he did a 1% Phoebus hunt, and he did it for like 3 years before he kind of gave up on it semi, and he came back to it, and he used Storm Drain and the Dex recommendation to make his Phoebus appear way more. And he didn't switch spots. He stayed in the same spot. Because there's another spot where it appears more often, but he stayed in the same spot, but he used all those things to boost his odds. And then he finally got it. Brilliant spawn! But I don't think... Is it only if you haven't caught them? I thought it would still show it to you even if you've caught them, because my dex is complete, and I guess I never thought of it. I thought it still kept giving you recommendations. It might not. You might be right. Yeah, mine just says, let's find some Pokemon. Yeah, I guess you're right. Actually, mine should have it, because I haven't completed the dex. Maybe I'm not far enough in the story for recommendations. I keep thinking I'm on my main profile, but I'm not. I don't think you necessarily need a lot more spawns, though, for it, because it already appears pretty often, doesn't it? Might not be the most common, but it appears pretty often. And also, whenever you KO them, they have a 50-50 chance of respawning in that same spot where the one you KO'd spawned. It's called the KO method. So that's one thing where KOing was beneficial. Because, for instance, let's say you're in an area, or any area, for example, where you see a Chansey. Chansey's a 1% overworld spawn. So if you run over and KO it, then you're taking a 1%, turning it into a 50-50. And if you save before you kill it, then you can just literally 50-50 shiny farm it. You just keep reloading the game, KOing the one that was already there, and then checking the second one when it appears, if it does appear, etc. Yep, it has a 50-50 chance of respawning. And you want to know something even cooler than that? It respawns as the same Pokemon down to its whether it's authentic Sinistry or not. So technically, if you go into the Crown Tundra, find an authentic Sinistry, save in front of it, KO it, then you take it from being a 1% spawn to a 50% spawn. So you can farm authentic Sinistries until you get a shiny authentic one. That's how I got mine. So it trivializes the rarity. In a way. That's how people also go for Dratini now. You can go in the Crown Tundra, you can find Dratini in this one spot, surfing. And it's a 5% spawn, which means it doesn't appear all that often. But if you find one and save in front of it, then you're turning it into a 50-50 after you KO the one you saved in front of. So it makes that hunt a lot easier. What did you realize about it? That it's in the game? Lotad is a really good Pokemon. One of my favorites. It has one of those very questionable, might be racist final forms. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's Sponsor. It's a good one. It's a good Pokemon. Definitely could be included on a team for a playthrough. A cheering Mexican pineapple with a duckbill. Because it's wearing like a poncho and a sombrero. Your mom's basement. I need to bathe. My feet are stinky. I was working hard today. Well, you didn't deny it. So I'm going to call that confirmation. No, I don't know where you are. I thought you were on the East Coast. Oh, okay. Alright, well. In your mom's attic. Nobody ever talks crap about the guys in the attic. You can be in the attic of your mom's house and you're still cool. That's the key to staying with your parents. Oh no, I don't live in the basement, I live in the attic. Alright, well then you're responsible. I mean, this chair's not very comfortable, I'll be honest with you. I've been looking into getting another one. But I'm cheap, so I'm just waiting for somebody on Facebook to be like, free chair! And then I look at it, and I've seen a lot of them too, and I look at them and I go, for free, that's not very good. You should pay me to get that chair. Somebody was giving away a free gaming chair, but the armrest was all tore up, and I was like, pass. Okay? Would like some quality free items, if you don't mind. I have standards. Was that 2 Basculins in a row? That is a bad sign. I'm telling you, man. Full odds ain't no joke. That's an average of 16 hours of encounters. You gotta have some patience. Unless if you're really paying attention. Really racking up those encounters. Because consider it, full odds is 1 in 4,000 something, and you're probably getting like 2 encounters a minute if you're really getting it. You know, if you're really like vibing. What is it, like 1 in 4,095, I think is what it is? No, that's 13. 1 in 4. That was just say 1 in 4,000 for the sake of simplicity. No, it's actually like 33 hours. Yeah. Unless you're getting more than 2 encounters a minute. That first shiny, you're gonna have to earn it unless you get real lucky. That's why I recommend playing through the whole game, beating it, getting a shiny charm, and then shiny hunting, because it's significantly easier. And if you want to make it maximum easy, get a Ditto with a foreign language as well. And then it's 1 in 516. Which is pretty chill. That's what I'm going to do for Dreepy. Mostly because Dreepy's a 2% grass flicker encounter Pokemon. People have gotten it shiny in the wild, but it's not an easy thing to do. It requires insane luck or insane patience or a combination of the two. It is. It's a little thief. A little thieving fox. Little scoundrel. And you could also hatch eggs to get to turn your score bunny into a shiny as well. Though you might as well get one with a hidden ability, because I think the hidden ability is better. Trade somebody for one with a hidden ability or something, and then breed that one. I have a perfect foreign Ditto that I will give you for 376 fastballs. It's a pretty good deal. I don't remember. I only remember that he has Charizard. We better not have Dragapult. Dragapult's too cool for him. He's got like a mullet. Those just aren't very cool. I have like a bush or tree weaving shadows around by my window. It's freaking me out a little bit. Honedge is also too cool for him. That's a really good shiny, too. Oh, I just realized I'm doubling up on ghosts if I go for Dreepy. So maybe I will get Sizzlipede after all. I didn't realize, though, that the Vulpix changes to a Growlithe in the gym if you're in Sword. So for your game, it would be a Vulpix, and in my game, it's a Growlithe. I didn't realize it changed per version of the game. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think if I want to get Dreepy, which I do, I'll probably instead do Sizzlipede, because Sizzlipede wouldn't make anything on my team redundant. But Litwick would. It would double up on my ghosting. I could always change that one, though. I could change it to something else for my final one. I could do what I did before and just switch back and forth between Litwick and Sizzlipede, and whichever one I get, I'll change. I'll either get Dreepy if I get Sizzlipede, or I'll get, probably another pseudo-legendary. What would it be? Tyranitar, maybe? I don't know. I'll think about it. I have a little bit of time before I be there, seeing as how I'm going to be doing several full odds hunts before I get there. I've seen some pretty quick ones too. I've had some pretty quick ones. I saw a girl that got her stream all set up to do resets for a static encounter Rockruff in the Isle of Armor, and the first one she encountered was shiny, and she was like, "Oh my gosh!" The very first one, she was like, "Okay, we're all ready to do our resets," and then she zooms over to it and shiny. And I think that one dude, Pokeaim or something like that. He's one of those guys that does like those like informational videos or whatever. He got a first encounter shiny Reshiram in Ultra Sun or Moon, one of the two. And A-Drive got a first encounter shiny Palkia in Pokemon Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire, and he got it right after getting a like Uxie or something like that, so it was back-to-back legendaries. He was like flying around on his Latios or Latias, hitting like the space wormhole thingies that you can do in that game. And he went from a shiny like Uxie or something into a shiny Palkia back to back. Yep, and then I also saw him reset over a shiny Chikorita in Heart Gold. Which I can't really like hate, because I reset over a shiny Chikorita, or not Chikorita, but a shiny Cyndaquil in Soul Silver, just because I was moving too fast. We all make mistakes. I also had a shiny Claydol explode on me, and a shiny Golisopod use eject button and dip on me, because I didn't realize he had that ability. Well, usually I'm pretty meticulous about things. If it's something that I'm actually trying to hunt, I'll make sure that I have everything like on me, so I can imprison it or lock out the move, you know, whichever it is, so that I can't fail it, right? I always research it. But these were things I wasn't expecting to get. I wasn't expecting to get a shiny Claydol. I wasn't going for that. I knew it was an option, but I was like, I probably won't get that. And then I was like, oh no, I don't have a Pokemon with Damp. And then, boom, it blew itself up. And then for Golisopod, I looked up what moves it had, and I was like, oh, it doesn't have any self-damaging moves. And then I hit it with False Swipe, eject button activated. And I was like, well, I didn't realize it had eject button. Ah! But like, for instance, when I shiny hunted Sinistea, I would imprison Memento so it couldn't kill itself. Because the ones in the Crown Tundra, the Sinesteas in the Crown Tundra, have Memento, and they'll kill themselves. Yep, no, there are Pokemon with Damp. I just didn't bring it because that's not what I was hunting for. I was trying to get the 2% Dreepy. You know, you gotta cover all your bases so you don't miss out on anything. Now, whenever I go to that area, I bring a damp Pokemon. Make sure that if I get another Claydol, I can bring in a damp Pokemon and it can't blow itself up. Another option is you can use Taunt on Sinistea so that it can't use Memento, but it only lasts for a certain amount of turns, so it makes me nervous that I'm gonna like forget to re-taunt it when it's running out. Which one, Explosion or Memento? There's a designing philosophy with any game, especially a video game, that in order for things to be good, there has to be things that are bad to like contrast to. So, like for instance, they'll print really bad cards for TCG games to make the good cards look even better in comparison. I don't know, I feel like Memento's like a troll move. But it does really harshly lower the stats of the other person, so in theory, maybe there was a time and place where it was worth sacrificing one of your Pokemon to nerf the other one to a degree where it could never do anything. There might have been a use case for it at some point, but seems unlikely to be efficient. Yeah, it is. And I think in its final form, it's actually pretty good. In its Galarian, whatever the heck, final form, where it looks like a member of KISS. And its shiny form is actually really sick. I definitely shiny hunted that one. Yeah, probably. I always recommend if you're going to play through any game, getting a full team of pickup Pokemon, and anytime you're not battling a gym, use your pickup Pokemon. Besides any Pokemon that you're actually planning on using for the next fight so they can get experience too. Anytime you're in a battle, it has a chance of giving you an item. I've been using pickup teams since Generation 3 when they introduced the ability. I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know what Squart is. But yeah, once you get to Winehurst Station, before you even get to the first gym, you can buy the DLC and jump on the train to the Isle of Armor. And you can, you know, take advantage of the Cramomatic, get a Cubfu, get some of the stuff that's only available there. Squove it. I can't like remember what it looks like, but I'll take your word for it. I don't remember there being an orange part. Whew. Me and my kid started watching Invincible. I did not expect that show to be quite so violent. I was like, oh, superhero show, and then people are like clapping people's heads and punching through them and stuff. I like Blipbug. Blipbug's pretty good. It has a G-Max form, which looks like a big spaceship. Pretty cool. Well, its final evolutionary form does anyways. And apparently that one also has compound eyes, and I didn't realize. I could have used that to farm my smoke ball. Instead of Butterfree. That's funny because they run away from you. They get scared and run off. That's just some bad luck. I have some hamburgers I need to cook, but I don't really feel like it, probably because I'm not hungry right now. So hopefully I'm feeling motivated later, because it's actually a nice sunny day. I was gonna take Theo out to throw football or something, but his allergies have been killing him lately, so he took some meds today. Hopefully that helps. I'm still getting used to the movements. I got pretty good at dodging when I was hunting Rotom, because I used to hunt it in thunderstorms, and the stupid wyverns, or whatever they're called, noiverns, chase you to the ends of the earth, man. But what helps with Rotom is that since it's the fastest moving Pokemon of all of them, you can just ring your bell while you run away from everything else, and eventually it'll zip all the way over to you and get you. Sometimes it'll ignore you straight up, though, and won't care that you're ringing your bell. But it also can glitch through the rocks at the Lake of Outrage. But you can still encounter it. You just have to spam your bell, and then it'll go up against the side of the rock, because it can't get back out after it clips through. And then you can still encounter it if you run into it on the other side of the rock. Yeah, it's starting to warm up for sure. What's scary? Clipping through the wall? I mean, I don't clip through it. Rotom clips through it. But I've also seen Golurks clip through it as well, and it looks weird as heck. They just walk straight through the wall, this giant Pokemon. It makes sense. It's a ghost Pokemon. Should be able to phase through walls now that I think about it. Makes more sense than Rotom. I guess Rotom's also a ghost Pokemon. Alright, I take it back. They should all be going through walls. How what? How clipping through walls? Poor design. You're catching your Nickit so early, you're not going to be able to catch it in a swag ball. Be alright though, I guess. Use a regular Pokemon. It helps, yeah. If you save in front of it, if you don't get a respawn on it, you can restart and KO it again. Just know that that first spawn, the one you saved in front of, will never actually be shiny, but that's only worth it if the spawn is like really, really infrequent. Like a 1 to 5% spawn. Oh man, the sound glitched out for me there. I didn't realize I always turn off animations. I turn the text speed up to maximum and turn off animations. I'm a speed runner. Right now I'm doing the speed run of catching this shiny. Most efficient strats possible. Saving, 0.5 seconds per cast. Basculin! They call him Basculin. Not really. He wanted to immediately talk to me in Discord and then started trying to get me to buy his design services, but that happens to me a lot. There's people that, they're hustling. They want to get you to buy their Twitch alerts and banners and avatars and stuff, and I pretty much said right away, I'm not spending money on the stream until I've made money from the stream. And then he was like, well, you need to spend money to make money and blah blah blah, and I was like, yeah, I've heard that before. Not doing it. Yeah, the blue Basculins are shield exclusives. They're per game. So in this game you'll only get the red stripe ones, and in the other game you'll get the blue stripe ones. And shield. But yeah, hounded me about his services, told him I didn't want to, and then eventually I just started to ignore him. And he stopped talking in the chat once I added him on Discord. Then he was just hounding me in there, and I was like, meh. Pass. I suppose it does. Maybe it was an arbitrary decision, maybe it was on purpose. Oh dang, gonna be your first shiny. I mean your first brilliant. If you KO it though, you can get some watts. That's not nothing. 299 watts. And if you catch it, it can have an egg move. If there was such a thing for Nickit. But then if you catch it, you won't have a chance of it being recommended. But I don't think the whole recommending thing is really worth bothering with. Unless it's something that spawns very, very infrequently. And even still, you have to change your game clock in order to get new recommendations. So, I never messed around with it. I never bothered trying to get more frequent spawns through that. I just went with whatever the normal spawn rate was. I was playing Ultra Sun. And I did an SOS hunt for a 1% shiny Larvitar. And I got it. It took a while. It does not call for backup very often. I don't know if you're familiar with SOS, the SOS mechanic. But some Pokemon don't call for backup very often, so it doesn't call for another spawn, and you just have to sit there and wait until it finally does. But I like Larvitar, and, well, I like, gosh, I can't remember what its evolutionary form is called right now. I can only think of Vespiquen right now, but that's not it. What is it called? Larvitar's evolutionary form. I don't know. No. Not Larvitar. What am I thinking of? Hang on. Larvesta. There it is. Larvesta's. Larvesta was a 1% SOS. What's Larvesta's evolutionary form? The big moth bug thingy. Volcarona, yes. Yeah, I shiny hunted Volcarona in Pokemon Shield, and I got one with an uncommon mark. It was like the intelligent mark, and it was Volcarona the Scholar, which is pretty cool. Shiny Volcarona the Scholar. Yeah, didn't do a bad job. Speaking of marks, if you complete the Isle of Armor dex, you can get a Mark Charm, which makes marks 3 times more likely. So I recommend doing it, because marks are cool. I like marks. They were introduced in this game. I think it's worth it. And for the Crown Tundra dex, if you complete that dex, you get a really ugly crown and some gold nuggets or something like that. So it's actually not worth it at all. Do not do that. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. What a dumb reward. I assumed it'd be something cool when the DLC came out, because the Mark Charm was from the first DLC, and then when I got some ugly crown and some gold, when I was already basically had like as much money as I wanted, because it's super easy to farm money in this game. If you want to farm money in this game, all you have to do is run around and collect watts off of Dynamax dens. Just go collect watts off of Dynamax dens. If you run out of ones to collect, you can go into one of the dens, queue up a den, and then change your date, and it'll refresh all of them. And then you can go collect them all again, and then go and use those watts to buy luxury balls from a Watts trader, then go sell those balls at a Pokemon Center, and boom, infinite money. I think they're both probably fine. I guess it depends upon the gender, huh? Yeah, it's the easiest way to get money in the game if you like really want to. Like, for instance, in the Isle of Armor, you can farm. I think it's. I forget which ore it has there exclusively, but you can farm an ore there, and then you can use that ore to upgrade your dojo. And eventually, when you upgrade your dojo, you build these vending machines that give you all the vitamins for EV training, like carbos, iron, calcium, all that stuff. And those are really expensive. So if you want to like EV train all your stuff, you can go farm watts, buy luxury balls, sell the luxury balls, and then you can get money to go and purchase vitamins to EV train all your Pokemon. Pretty good. It's worth it. I basically know it like every corner of this game. I've been playing it so much for years. I already have, like, if I went and sold stuff, not on the right account, but if I went and sold what I had on my other account, I would probably have, like, max money. I just have so many random items. One thing that's really cool, though, that you can do as well, is if you really want to cheese the game, you can find a, or you can have somebody else on another account find a Shedinja den, and then you can farm the Shedinja den for experience candies, and you can always one-shot it because it only has 1 health. So as long as you have an effective move against it, you can one-shot it over and over and over, and they can just keep resetting their game to where the den hadn't been beaten and letting you farm it over and over, and you can get infinite candy and Dynamax ore and stuff like that. And another cool one is Delibird. If you have a Delibird one, you can farm Dream Balls on the Delibird one. But you do have to be far enough in the game to be able to challenge it, I think. I don't think you can do it at the beginning of the game. Spam tapping A for what reason? To catch something? Doesn't work. That is a myth. Oh, have you not killed 500 by now? Oh, speaking of killing 500, probably going to be wrapping up the stream in a little minute here. I guess I don't necessarily have to. I have a one viewer on Rumble. Nope, never mind, they left. They heard me talking about him and they were like, I'm out of here. This guy's lame. And they're not wrong. What shiny? Your inventory? Your KO count? Getting there. Again, it's only going to affect the brilliant spawns, but every time you see that brilliant spawn, you're going to be like, that could be shiny. And then it isn't. And then you cry. And then you blow your nose, wipe your tears, and go back to work. You know what I mean? Hopefully not with the same tissue, or else you're putting boogers into your eyeballs. I don't recommend. Tried it, makes them crusty, like when you first wake up. Loaf of bread. Yeast! Oh! Whoa! I like to do the far cast and then the closest one to the far cast, because this one's weird. It's so far out there. It'd make a good clip if I got a shiny from it. It'd be like the longest distance shiny achievement. Guinness Book of World Records, longest shiny distance casting away something or other monkey cheese. You know what I mean? That's what it says on the Guinness Book of World Record. It's an entry that I invented. Don't ask me why. Guinness Book of World Records doesn't mean anything anymore because now anytime Logan Paul does something, they go, oh, biggest douche award. They just show up for everything he does. Oh, blondest hair, biggest muscles, most scams, highest amount of rug pulls, most annoying podcast. He basically owns the Guinness Book of World Records. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Talking about Chin Chow? Not green. If it were green, I would say it. It does sometimes at first glance look green. It's like an optical illusion. It's a trick of the eye. Like you look at the grass or tree background for a moment and then glance at it and you're like, that seems green also. No, it's yellow. But I've had that happen to me too. Troll. Most expensive comic book ever bought. Most expensive Pokemon card ever bought. Biggest, dumbest moron. Fakest boxing match with the oldest former boxer that's not actually trying to fight you. Alright, so I think we're going to wrap up the stream at this point. Next time we get a spawn that is not a Chinchou or Aracuda, we'll wrap it up. And then I'm going to see about doing a couple chores and bathing and dinner and... Oh. Things and stuff and stuff and things and things and stuff. Not necessarily in that order. Anyway, cooking up a couple birds. I was going to have them when Theo's here, but they're starting to get on the older side, and I don't want them to sit in the fridge for too long. So I'll go cook, pop them on the grill at my apartment. My cheese is also getting old. Gotta cheese it up. Maybe I'll make like double burgers and then get go to cardiac arrest. Be pretty cool. Getting old? Yeah, yeah. Past my expiration date. You can no longer sell me. I'm being clearanced out. They're sending me over to grocery outlet. Grocery outlet, bargain market. Of course, moldy as well. Because moldy ones get gray hairs on them. Or like bluish hairs. If we're gonna get a shiny today, it's gotta be now. I realized that in my copy of Shield, my main copy, that I still had tons of apricorns from when I did my tree shake hunt. So I went through and put in like 200 plus balls of like every apricorn, and I got one safari ball and one heavy ball. I was like, that wasn't very good luck. Though Safari is the ultra rare ball, so... Yeah, when you put them in the Cramomatic, you have a 1% chance of getting a Apricorn ball, and a 0.1% chance of getting a Sports ball or a Safari ball. It should be like 1 in 100, but more like 1 in 1,000 that time. But luck swings both ways. Sometimes it's good luck, sometimes it's bad luck. That reminds me. Oh wait, never mind. I didn't clip the heavy ball because it wasn't on this account. I'm trying to be genuine with my progression. I could have used it as a clip though. And the Safari ball, to be fair. What are you gonna win? Oh, because you want to get yours first. I told you you're probably gonna get yours first if you're doing way more encounters than I am. I'm gonna be here for another freaking 10 streams probably. At least. I've seen people with shiny charms go up to like 27,000 encounters. You never know. My brain just got kind of foggy for a second there. I didn't realize what I was doing. Just staring into the plus eyes, and I was like, huh? What's going on, George? I mean, it's helpful for sure. Could keep doing it past your 500. Since KOing it 500 times doesn't really actually do anything anyway. We're on quite the streak of Chin Chows and Arakudas. You think it'll be a Choodle? Usually it's Basculin that ends my streams. He's the harbinger of doom. He's like, I am Basculin! Rah! Or it could be a Wishy-Washy. A Wishy-Wash. Wowsh. Wish-wash. Splish splash, I was taking a bath. All up on a Saturday night. Rub-a-dub, I was sitting in the tub. Thinking everything was alright. I didn't even see that you said that the, your reboot's level 24. Or it's level 24 over the Nickets? You mean 24 levels higher than? How are you already up to that? I think that my highest one is like 25 right now. I think you're cheating. You're a cheaty cheater. Cheaty. A chickadee cheater. The Chinese cheater. Mass culling of Yampers in Route 2 or whatever. Well, luckily for you, everything's gonna listen to you unless you had it traded in from another game. Choodle! You were right! It was Choodle to end the stream. Choodle was the harbinger of doom this time. That's right. And then eventually you'll get a brilliant one and you'll be like, this was all worth it. And then you encounter it and it's shiny and then you scream, cry, jump for joy, punch a newborn baby in the face. All necessary things to celebrate. But anyways, the stream has ended. I will see you next time. Good luck on your shiny hunt. If you get it before, then I will forget our previous agreement. Boom. Have a great one.